Greetings, everyone. I'm so excited today. Today is another book show with a special author today. I am being joined with none other than Miss Yvette Wood, and she's going to come on and share with us shortly about a wonderful book that just dropped. And I am so looking forward to having some deep conversations with her about her experience and about her journey as an author. So I want to welcome everyone who's with me today. Thank you so much for joining us on the book show. I want you to make sure that you're interacting with us, giving us questions, and if you have ideas, and especially if there are any book clubs out there who are reading particular books and you want to share, or if you have questions about the Discovering Strength series, please put that in the chat. And we're getting ready to be joined by none other than Yvette Wood.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dawn. How are you?
I am fabulous. I am doing fabulous, partially because you are joining me today.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So, I got this book not long ago, and we got to talk about it.
Okay.
Before we talk about this marvelous book that's in my favorite color, oh, by the way, I want to start off so that our audience gets to know a little bit more about Miss Yvette Wood. So I want to start off just kind of asking you if you would share with us, who is Yvette Wood? There are a lot of titles, but who is this marvelous woman beyond the titles? Who is she?
Yvette Wood is who she is, and I never try to be anybody else than other who God designed me to be. I found that when you walk in your purpose and your identity, your life goes a whole lot smoother than trying to be somebody else. There can only be one you, one original. And I love me, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I'm a mother, which I adore being a mother. I have 5 beautiful children. I have 2 grandchildren, and a bonus daughter. I'm a nurse. I am a co-host on several shows. I cook. I cater. I dance. I teach dance. I have a charity in Liberia, Feed Hospice, which is ran by Nancy, and that keeps me very busy. That is, kind of a snippet of who I am. I am an ordained evangelist with the Church of God in Christ in North Central District of the Church of God in Christ, which I serve as the president of hospitality and the president of administration.
Okay. Wow. Let me say that backwards. Wow. That is a lot. Oh my gosh. That is, I mean, you talking about wearing different hats. That's a lot of different hats. Or as I would almost want to say, based upon your book, that's a lot of different crowns, right?
Yes, yes. But the key to it is that you remain the same person underneath it all, no matter what role you're walking in. Be true to yourself. My very first and only tattoo that I have on my body says, "To thy own self be true."
Oh, I love that. I love that. As we dive in a little bit deeper as to who Yvette Wood is, um, I'd like to start off by asking you, what did writing your story mean to you? This book.
Wow. It meant a lot. It meant a chance to kind of share my experience, but also it was a chance for me to go back through my life and make sure that I was whole and healed from my experiences. So many times we go through life never really dealing with issues. We just kind of sweep them under the carpet, thinking one day I'll get over it or one day I'll be okay. And then something happens and all this stuff comes up like a whirlwind, and you wonder, where did that come from? It's because you never took the time to deal with it. You never took time to stop and say, hey, let me fix this. Let me be made whole so that I don't continue to leak all over everybody that I run into. And so I do a lot of contract work because I have my own company, and in between that, I go from contract to contract. And so they unexpectedly pulled a contract, and they said it'll be 3 weeks before we're back up, Yvette. And Don, I didn't panic. I had no idea what I was going to do. I'm like, how am I going to pay these bills? I just bought this house, and I had all these things going on in my head. But small, still voice of my God spoke to me. He said, Yvette, don't waste your weight. And I began to write. I wrote both of these books in 2.5 weeks because I didn't want to waste my weight. And it was, it just kept coming and kept coming. So I knew it was a force greater than me. And the next thing I knew, it was finished. And as soon as I finished, they called me and said, you ready to go back to work? So, yeah.
That is amazing, because there are so many authors, and of course that's a passion of mine because I help authors as well. But a lot of times they're like, oh, it's going to take me a year. It's going to take me 5 years. I've been trying for 10 years, but you said 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, because it's a direct book with few stops. I didn't want to make it a novel. I wanted to hit it and miss it, and not miss it, because let's be real. There's this old cliche that goes around that says, if you ever want to hide something from a person of color, hide it in a book.
Yeah.
We weren't raised to really be readers, but leaders are readers. So I didn't want it to make a long book that people would not finish, because I wanted this to be important to women to heal. So I, compacted it and made it as short as I could without leaving out vital information, because I want it to be a book that people read more than once, and they use it as a directory when they run into these issues.
Oh, I love that. And as a person who has read your book, I will say that you did a fabulous job. And as a person who helps authors and readers and writers, there's certain things that I look for. And there are certain books that, it's like you pick up and you're like, no. But when I picked your book up to read it, it grabbed me.
Oh, thank you.
All books don't grab me. I'm just saying, it's like, how when you're reading a book and it pulls you in and you want to read it.
Right.
I think that's so important, because a lot of times, yes, it's one thing if you're reading for information, and it's one thing if you're reading to learn, but your book has multiple elements to it, because there's learning in there, but there's a story in there that pulls people in, because let's be real, there's drama. There's some drama in there. And so people who are wanting to read for enjoyment and wanting to almost read for an escape type thing, right? They can absolutely do that, because as I was reading and I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, I can imagine this on television real easy.
Oh, there's a part 2 coming, definitely.
Yeah. So, I want you to know, and as I'm speaking about it to our audience members, you need to go and order the book, because you will definitely enjoy reading each chapter, because you've done a fabulous job. But let's dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about the writing process and what it may have allowed you to experience and discover. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Yeah. So without giving away a whole lot of the content or the context of the book, I started with my childhood, and my father, because we are women, right? And every girl should be daddy's little girl. That's just Yvette. That there's something about that father figure in our life and how it affects us. And I realized that that affected me greatly through my whole life. And it was like, what was it about that relationship that brings so much value to who we are? It's interesting because as a woman, we can pump each other up all day long, but when a man says it, it hits us differently. Yeah, I can tell you, girl, you look good, but when your husband comes in and says, baby, you look like $1 million, you feel it. So I wanted to bring about the importance of that father-daughter relationship and how it can affect us in our life, whether it's good or bad, because everybody doesn't have great father-daughter relationships. Sometimes it's just non-existent.
So very, very true. And that's absolutely something that I can attest to, because I had a wonderful father and who's no longer with me. And if you've read any of my books, my dad is throughout every last one of my books, both he and my mom, because the things that they instill within you,
Mhm.
it's it's what you take wherever you go, wherever, whoever. It's like it's who I am. I am absolutely Bishop Williams' daughter, and it's like what he instilled in me is why I am who I am today, and I know you can attest to the same.
Oh, absolutely. And it will cause you to search for who you are if you're missing that. There's just something about that relationship, just like if it was a boy with his mom, and especially a boy with his dad. Parental relationships. And so I wanted to start, that was my starting point. I had to go back to what I call my place of wounding. Where did this begin? And I wanted to take my readers on a journey with me about how it began, but that doesn't mean that how it has to end.
I love that. I love that because it's about growth. And I think a huge part of your book, and both of your books, it's about growth and learning. And I love that about each and every part of your chapters, where you are actually wanting um, audience members or people who read your book to grow and to learn how to be better and to heal, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the goal. You know, the book was designed. I'd actually finished the and my girlfriend calls me and she says, you know, Yvette, she said, I haven't read the book. I know you're done. It's at the publisher. She said, but did you leave any space to write? She said, because I like to write when I'm reading. And I said, no. But then I thought about it and I called the publisher. I said, stop the press. We're going to do something differently. So I decided to add what I call the spiritual mending guidebook to go with it, because it not only gives you a place to write your thoughts, it guides you through your thought process to help lead you to wholeness. And so it's really designed to be a 2-book set to be used in Bible studies and book clubs, or women in shelters who've been abused or molested or gone through some of the things that I went through, to help them deal with their emotions, to bring them out. And so that they don't live or suffer in silence any longer. It helps them understand you are not alone.
I love that. And we're going to take a break in just a moment, and we're going to come right back to that, what you were just speaking about, that mending and that healing. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. so much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Crucian Hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. The nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kind of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all of we call this home. The VI is the new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
Rocking. I'm going to the islands.
Sounds great. Well, we're back with none other than an amazing author, evangelist Yvette Wood, and we're so excited to have her this afternoon. And before we took our break, she was talking about her two books and how they go together and why. And I have a couple of questions for you as it relates to that. You talked about why you decided to do that. I want you to just give our audience a little more about that passion of healing and mending. And then I have a couple of more in-depth questions for you. So would you like to finish that up for us?
Sure. We were talking about the beginning, the origin of the book, and what it felt like to have to go to be able to share that experience. And I can truly say that having to relive some of those circumstances helped me to understand just how healed I was. Because, the one part, without giving away the book, where I had to go back into that dirty den. And to this day, I cannot stand the smell of cigars. I mean, it's still there. If you've ever experienced any trauma takes you to the point of where it happened. You experience it, or you'll relive that trauma all over again. So having to take myself there in order to help other people heal, I can truly say I only did that with the strength of God, because it was something, as I said earlier, that we'll just sweep under the rug and not deal with. And even though I had went to counseling and believed that it was all gone, it wasn't until I went there for this book that I can say I am healed from that experience. Now I can help my sisters heal as well. And that's why the Mending Guidebook was so important, because it helps them go to that place of wounding, bring out all those emotions that happened at that time. And then I give you sources to help you heal. I give you what the world says, and here's some, counseling centers you can call, or what some psychologists may have said about that situation. But then I bring it with the word of God and what he says about it, because he is, in my life, the final and binding authority of all things. And he can bring you, if you have a relationship, to that place of wholeness.
That is so powerful, so powerful. I thank you for sharing that. I thank you even for your passion because so many people need healing. And in a lot of cases, they don't even know that they need healing. They don't know that they need healing. And I think a part of even reading your story, I believe that people will be able to relate to certain situations and be like, wait a minute, I experienced that too. Maybe I need to look at this guidebook and see how it can help me through perhaps a healing process where I didn't even know I needed to be healed. Because sometimes you can be hurt and you feel like you've moved on, and somebody take that Band-Aid off and you feel all that pain all over again. I'd like to jump into even the writing process.
Sure.
When writing through so many experiences, was there pain? Was there a challenge even in writing some of the hurtful moments? Wasn't all hurtful moments. There were joy moments, but
yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was painful when I was writing, particularly about my experience down south. As I said, I had to put myself back in that dusty den and, close my eyes and take myself back to the place where I said I'd never go again. But I knew I had to go back at least one more time to help someone else, because I believe that's what we're designed to do, that everything we go through isn't necessarily for us as much as it is for the next person that comes along us saying, hey, yeah, I went there, but I made it through and you can too. So being in that place, I found myself at night grinding my teeth. I wasn't sleeping well, tearful all the time, snapping at my children because I was back in that place once again. And then it was interesting because once I was able to move forward to another chapter, I was able to resolve some of those issues. And I didn't just write the book, Dawn. I went through the Spiritual Mending Guidebook myself once again, as if I was a reader, to make sure that I had dealt with the issues that I was talking about. because the last thing you need is somebody who's wounded telling you how to heal. You can't do that. One of my old proverbs is never let a naked man clothe you. So if they're not dressed, they can't dress you. So I really wanted to be sure that I was whole when I was putting that together. And I thought, how did I get here? What was my process? And I put all of that in the Mending Guidebook to help others to heal.
That is so powerful in so many ways, because even as you're a nurse, so I know during this time, this pandemic, so many people are dealing with so many issues of mental health issues where they are in need of a guidebook to help them. And in a lot of cases, I honestly don't think they realize how much help they need. So I am so excited about people getting this information and learning and healing from it, because I just feel like it's so very, very important.
Absolutely. One of the things that the pandemic did, it isolated people who would normally be on the go. So for the first time, you had to deal with you. And that's when I think people started realizing I'm not okay. And you know what? It's okay not to be okay. It's becoming more accepted. Before it was taboo not to be mentally okay. Now people are accepting and recognizing and acknowledging and validating people who are not okay. So, some good did come out of the pandemic. I know people are like, well, what good came out of it? A lot of good came out of it, because now we can deal with issues, because as you were saying, so many people don't know they're okay. And if you're single, the last thing you want to do is go into a relationship and marriage with all these issues and all that baggage, because it's not going to help you one bit. You think that getting a man is going to save you? No, sweetie, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Yes. And if they read your book, if you dig into that book and read it all the way to the end, it's going to tell you. Yes. It's going to give you some information to be like, hold up, I need to wait. Hold up, I heard that before. So
absolutely.
It's so true. And I'm in a total agreement with you that a lot of good has come out of this pandemic, shining the light on mental health, shining the light on so many different areas of people who need resources. And that is one of the things that I am so grateful for with you, is you're pointing people in the right direction, not only giving them spiritual guidance, but giving them guidance of places that they can go to, where they can call on and get assistance that they need so that they can improve. So that's very, very powerful. Well, we're going to take a break in just a moment. And when we come back, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper into this marvelous book. What I didn't state about this book is the title. Would you like to tell our audience what the title of your book is?
Absolutely. Crooked, dented, or broken, girl, wear your crown.
Girl, wear your crown.
Wear your crown.
I love that so much. Crooked, dented, or broken, girl, wear your crown by Yvette Wood. It's a powerful, powerful resource and a very exciting book. And when we come back in just a few moments, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this book and into these resources with this magnificent evangelist, Yvette Wood. We'll be right back in just a few moments. and we're back with Evangelist Yvette Wood, and we're having such a marvelous time this afternoon. And as we are coming back, I have a few questions for you, Miss Yvette. A few more.
All right.
So, how have writing this story um, changed you, or has it changed any aspect of not changed you as a person, because we know you are who you are, but has it changed anything?
It's changed me. Right. Writing the stories definitely. Go ahead. I kind of lost you in between the sound bite.
Okay. So you were saying how it kind of changed you. And I'm thinking on the lines of, if anybody is reading it, it's almost like your transparency it's amazing. So has that changed anything for you? Did it I know a lot of times when I've worked with some other authors, and right before the book comes out, they're like, they have all this anxiety. They're like, oh my God, people are going to read what I wrote. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So how did that feel to you?
I felt like I was just given a platform to just be me. I have always been kind of that Brazilian nut in a bowl of pecans, shall we say. I've always been the one that just kind of grabbed the bull by the horns and not really worry a whole lot about what other people think at the end of the day. And so, if anything, it liberated me more to say, it's okay to share your stories. It's okay to be transparent. I think we're living in a time where people are tired of pretentiousness and they're looking for the real, the genuine. And I wanted to give it to them. I wanted them to say, hey, yes, this is my story. This is what I've been through, but I love me and I'm comfortable in my skin. And if you don't, guess what? That's your issue, not my monkey, not my circus. I'm going to continue to be who I am and share that with others. And hopefully, my prayer is that women will heal, they will mend, and they will learn that it's okay to be exactly who they are. Just keep that crown on your head no matter what anybody says to you, because we're all queens in our own right.
Oh, I love that. We are all queens in our own right. You said a mouthful just now, because so many times we as women, we're like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? But for you to state that you are just who you are, I love that. I absolutely love that. What was the biggest surprise for you? What was the biggest surprise for you in this process?
The biggest surprise for me, Don, was I actually finished it. I just thought that halfway through there, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I am not going to be able to do this. You get that self-doubt. Like, can I do this? I'm actually going to write a book. I'm going to put all of this in a book, and I'm going to finish it, because I know about you, but we're real good at starting, these projects, but seeing them to completion was a thing. But I wouldn't stop. I would sit on my back deck with my cup of tea at 6 o'clock in the morning, as soon as the sun rise. And I was like, don't anybody bother me for 2 hours, because I need to do this. And there was just so many pages. I could have had a novel, but trying to edit it down myself, like I said, to make it direct and to the point, that in itself was a process. So like I said, the biggest aha moment was when I put the pen down and said, finished. I was like, yes, I did it.
Awesome. And congratulations to you. I know it's a big deal. It really is a big deal. And I congratulate you, because you did a fabulous job. You did a fabulous job. So as we're going to dig a little bit deeper into your story, without giving a whole lot away from your story, there is, as we've stated, times in your story where there were challenges. And as you know, I have a Discovering Strength series. And all through your book, there is strength. There is strength all through your book. What does strength look like to Yvette Wood? What does strength look like to you?
I can only relate it to a movie that most people are familiar with, and that's The Terminator. And that is who I am. I don't care if I got one eye, one leg, no hand. I'm coming. I'm going to keep coming for you. I'm coming because I'm going to get there. Like I said, crawling, dragging, no eye, no hair, no teeth. I'm still coming. I'm going to finish my course in this life, and I'm going to finish it strong, Don. And that is strength. That strength is when you make the decision that you're going to do it, and nothing's going to stand in your way. No obstacle, no ceilings. I'm going to keep coming and get what's mine, because people says only one person can be on top. That is so faux pas. There's room for all of us if we just keep going and keep that inner motivation that I can. How we speak has a lot to do with how our lives are lived. I always say I can. You never hear me say I'm sick. You'll hear me say I'm being healed, or I'm in the healing process right now. I always say I can. I never say I can't. I never say don't. I say do. It's always go, be, do. How you think has a lot to do with who you are.
So powerful. So powerful. Our words, as you're stating, our words have power, and we can speak those things into existence, right? And that's what I'm hearing you say. What you stated was so powerful. So you talked about your biggest surprise, and we want to take a moment and take a look at what some of our interactive people are stating. Words matter, are powerful. Thank you so much, Gail Riley, for stating that. And Denise Irby, she says, mindset. Indeed. Would you like to speak to any of these?
Absolutely. Gail Riley is an awesome life coach. I just want to put that out there. If anybody's looking, look up Gail Riley. She can put you in the right direction. And she's doing basically what I'm doing with my Spiritual Mending Guidebook. She would be a great combination of secular and spiritual as well, to help you figure out who you are and where it is you want to be. And they are right. It's all about your mindset. It's how you think. As you think, you are. And so change your thinking, change your words, frame your words. Every morning, Dawn, when I wake up, I have my affirmations. I jump out of bed. The first thing I say is, the favor of God surrounds me today like a shield. And I expect doors to open. I expect folks to call me on the phone and I get a blessing. I wake up with expectancy, knowing who I am. So I'm not surprised when I pick up the phone and somebody says, hey, I got something for you, because I spoke it. It's out there. The Bible tells us the power of life and death is in this tongue. So what we speak, we shall have.
Indeed. Words are power, Denise Irby. Without question. Our words are powerful. Yes, our words are so powerful. Use them carefully, Paulette. Thank you for joining us. I love the interaction with our audience. And I think Ms. Thank you for joining us, Gail. We are so excited indeed with Miss Wood. In speaking about powerful words, within your book, you speak to many different areas. But I'd like for you, before we take our break, to speak to a person who's feeling hopeless and feeling like they don't have hope. Because I feel like your book is giving not only strength, it's giving direction. But speak to that person who's an audience member who may be feeling hopeless in one of these situations.
Absolutely. I want them to know that you are worth it. And there is a light because you're still here. There's a reason why you're still here, and you're still here because you haven't completed your course yet. No matter what anybody may say, learn to love yourself. Look in that mirror and see this beautiful creation that God has made. I don't care if you got short hair, no hair, red hair, blonde hair, teeth, no teeth, big boobs, little boobs, skinny, fat, whatever it is. You are here for a purpose, and you are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And don't let anybody tell you any different. And reach down to your toes and pull up that strength to get up out of that bed. Take your shower, comb your hair, and girl, wear your crown, because you can rock it and you can be anything you want to be. All you have to do is take that first step, and that is saying, I can.
And with that, the mic just fell to the floor because she just gave us so many wonderful tidbits. And we're going to be right back in just a moment with none other than Evangelist Yvette Wood. So you want to stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome. My name is Carolyn Howell, and I'm the executive producer of the Caribbean Food Network, the newest and the most fabulous way to eat, drink, and think. Food, fun, anything culinary, travel, tourism, you name it, we're in. Right now, I'm standing in Cookology, or at least one of the Cookologies. Cookology is a fabulous recreational and professional way to learn how to cook. And isn't that what we all want to do? Eating is how we keep going. So in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to Maria. Maria is the founder and the owner of Cookology. We're so excited about our partnership and what the Caribbean Food Network is going to do. We can't wait for you to see. So sit tight.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cookology Culinary School. This is our location in Boston Quarter. We have been here since 2019. We have another one in Delastown Summer. We've been there since 2009. We've been in business for 13 whole years, aside from the pandemic, which I did a lot of sleeping. But here we are. If you want to look in, this is what you see when you come by Boston Quarter. It's fun. It's fun. It's potential fun. Everybody is looking to do something with their friends and family. So here is the front door. Follow the sign.
Hello, and welcome to Behind the Inspiration Podcast, the show that encourages and motivates with our 5-minute interviews of inspiration. My name is Ken Waller, and I am your host. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast is a part of my moving forward by helping others identify what true inspiration is. Behind the Inspiration Podcast was developed to provide a platform for sharing awesome, uplifting stories by individuals inspired by events or situational experiences in their lives. You know, inspiration motivates you to be better and to do better. Different things inspire different people. There is so much inspiration in this world. It's important that we start to highlight the things that inspire us versus the things that are destroying us. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast can be heard right here on Anchor Podcast or on the podcast platform of your choice. Thank you in advance for tuning in.
We're back. We're back with none other than the marvelous Miss Yvette Wood. And we're so happy you are with us. And as we are going into our next segment, I would like to ask you, how can our audience members or those who are watching, how can they reach you? Um, if you have a wonderful, like a website, or if you would like to share with them how they can reach you and how they can get your book and all of that, because we're going to jump into our Joy segment shortly.
Absolutely. So you can reach me at Yvette Wood at girlwearyourcrown.com, or you can go to the website www.girlwearyourcrown.com. You can also find me right here on RTV in certain different segments, and I'm right here located in the DMV area. The book is available on Amazon, and it's also available at Palmetto Publishing Company on their book club page. Please keep in mind that it is a 2-book set. You have the book itself, which is Crooked, Dented, or Broken, Girl, Wear Your Crown. And you also have the second book, which I have a copy, and it is Crooked, Dented, or Broken, Girl, Wear Your Crown. It is the Spiritual Mending Guidebook. And this piece is key when you're dealing with issues or you're ministering to someone with issues. Again, if you have a church group, a Bible study, a women's ministry, it's perfect for a women's ministry to kind of go through those issues and make sure that these women are whole and healed, especially if somebody's thinking about wanting to get married or starting a family, or even if you're a single mom and you've gone through some challenges and you just need help. The Spiritual Mending Guidebook will help you along with the book. So please get both of them. It's a 2-book set.
Fabulous. So our audience knows to connect with any of our guests as they are on, but specifically today, Miss her, and to absolutely support her with her. So we're getting ready to go into a Joy segment, and with our Joy segment, it Lord is our strength, and I want you to share with our audience a moment that you would say was most joyous to you. It could be past or present, and I want you to describe it for us. And those of you who are on with us interactively, what we want to do is we're going to guess what she's talking about. And then what I would like for our audience to do as well is to share what words resonates with them as you are sharing. So we want you to be very descriptive, because we're going to try to figure it out as you are sharing your joyous moment.
Most people call it the American dream. It's not always easy to obtain. Some people never get it in their lifetime. Can be a little expensive. You can share it with others. It's a community kind of item. So those are the only cues I'm giving y'all. Now y'all got to guess what this is, because I'm bubbling from the inside out.
Well, I feel like I might have the answer. I think, okay, wait. Okay, Anna Lentz, thank you for joining us. She says, becoming an American citizen. Is that a no or a yes?
That's a no, but that's a good one.
Okay, Iris Diaz says home.
Yes.
So buying a house?
Yes, when I got my house, that was the biggest joy, because, you know, if you read the book, you know, I'm divorced, and just going through financial challenges, rebuilding your credit, and the mindset thinking you can get it. So the day that they called me and told me that I was approved, I just jumped through the ceiling. And I think I shared with you the whole story behind the closing, and we don't have time for that, but boy, that's a testimony. But being able to sit at that table and sign those documents and say, I have my home, that God gave me, because I'm not giving man the glory for none of that. Okay. God gave me that beautiful home, which, you've been to. And it's unspeakable joy, Dawn. I still get up in the middle of the night and walk in the hallway and like, wow, is this my house? And it gives me so much joy.
Oh, yes. Miss Anna Lentz is on with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna. She says it's the best feeling in the world to have your forever home. We just did that last year. Congratulations to you.
Yes.
Wow. Indeed. Miss Paulette says, wow, Iris guessed it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to have to do an additional segment where we have to give prizes out or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. But before we go, I have to tell your audience, speaking of queens wearing their crowns, I met Miss Dawn Francis at her book launch. This sister came in the room in a red gown that hit the floor, and I said, the queen has entered the room. I mean, she owned that room. She did not only own the book, she owned the room. I was like, whoever she is, I need to know who she is, because oh my God, I'd take my hat off to Queen Dawn over here, but she was rocking that red, y'all.
I thank you for joining us at the book launch. Thank you so much. And thank you for the compliment. We talked about that red dress. I had to make myself wear that red dress. But we as women, we got to push ourselves out there a little bit more sometimes, based even upon my conversation with you and learning from you.
Absolutely. And we will be doing a formal book launch of Crooked, Dented, or Broken Girl, Wear Your Crown. We'll be doing that at the O Museum down in downtown DC. So look out for that invitation, everyone. I will be putting that out there.
Oh, and we can't wait, because we know it's going to be fantastic and awesome at the O Museum. Oh my gosh, I've been there. That place is indeed fabulous.
Yes, so it is.
Everybody's I don't know if you have a date yet, but do you have a date?
Now, I talked to Thursday. We're trying to narrow in. I just told her she wanted to do it like right then. And I'm like, give me a minute. So by the first of the year, no later than January 15th. And if I can get around Martin Luther King weekend, that would be wonderful, is what I'm thinking, because that goes along with change. So.
Oh, I love it. And our audience is definitely going to want to know those specifics. So if you can share that with us, we can absolutely put it out in our social media and make sure that everybody's aware of when the Crooked, Dented, or Broken Girl Wear Your Crown book launch will be, and the date and time for that. So as we are about to close, Ms. Yvette, I would really like for you to just take a moment and share with our audience some final tidbits so that I believe they can take that with them.
Know that to the world, through the birth of our moms, we come in alone, but that mother grabs that baby and holds that baby to her chest, because that baby is so precious and brings her so much joy. I want you to know that you are precious and you bring somebody joy. Hopefully it's yourself that you bring joy. And if not, learn to enjoy yourself. Learn to do the things that you've always wanted to do. The one thing 9/11 did for me was let me know that no one knows the day or the hour. So you might as well live life while you can. Everything that I was afraid to do, I did. Everything I thought I was big enough to do, I did. Know that you are precious, that you are loved, that you are beautiful, and you can do it. You can. And there are women out there like myself and Dawn, who are here to help elevate you and root you on. We are your biggest cheerleaders. I don't know about you, but I know about Dawn and I, and we don't want to be at the tops by ourselves. We want everybody to win. Somebody told me one time, they said, Yvette, just keep clapping till it's your turn. So I say to you, just keep clapping because your day is coming. You are a winner.
And I say to our audience, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Evangelist Yvette Wood, for joining me today. You have been magnificent, and it has been an awesome time. And we look forward to hearing about your launch and everything else that we will be doing. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Why? Because you can. Because that power comes through the words in which you speak. And indeed, you can have a fabulous day. Bye-bye, everyone.